Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Nishmasi mimerosi ruspas Mordechai. Hayoim shishu shloshim yoim shem chamisha shavuos v'yoim echad ba'omer or la'omer. With us today, it's a big schus. We have Yosef Erman, who is Zoicha to make a siyum on Zvachim and Menachas at the Koisel. With the Yeshiva Shahavara. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Yeah. It's crazy what he did. I'm copying now, but I don't want to go into it. He's a rocket scientist, and he dropped it to go into Chashmonaim. Okay, it's unbelievable. New in Borough Park at Yossi's. What is this, Rabbi Isai? At Yossi's. Oh, that's beautiful. Yossi, that's the. Is that the? He's not the baker. He's the baker. Yeah, Yossi's Heimische Bakery. Yeah, that's him. Yossi Eagle. Givaldic. Rabbi Isai, MDY in West Hollywood. MDY branch West Hollywood hosted this Sunday Siyum Chullin. Here's the caravan.
Hi, do you know what the Daf Yomi is?
There's a real robot.
The Daf Yomi is this daily study cycle of the Talmud. People around the world follow it. One page a day takes about 7.5 years to cover the whole thing. Pretty wild, right? You into that kind of stuff?
Yes. Do you know who Rev Eli Stefansky is?
Yeah. Rev Eli Stefansky? He's a pretty well-known figure in the Daf Yomi. He runs these super engaging Daf Yomi shows, like daily Talmud study sessions, and he's got a huge following online. His style is super energetic, and he's known for making Talmud study really.
All right, Boston Siyum. Oh, before I forget, Rabbi Isai, we have a guest here who sponsored breakfast. And unfortunately, someone dropped the ball somewhere, and we asked him a chila, so yishkoyach for the breakfast. What's your name again? Mark Katz. I see you even wearing Mark Katz, yishkoyach, you're even wearing an MDY sweatshirt. Yishkoyach for this beautiful bottle of wine. Yishkoyach. Reminds me, I don't know, somebody delivered, and it came, my wife ordered a bunch of schnitzel for Shabbos at this great place called Zezi's, a nice tray, it's not cheap. And the 5 Bachrim show up with my son, and 3.5 minutes later, gone. Not a piece left. But somebody delivered a giant schnitzel thing, like a bunch of chicken, and without a name. So I have no idea, but it came perfect because we got to use it well. And whoever you are, you're shkoyach gadol, but I don't know who it is. It came without a name. I knew somebody here is going to take credit, but I'm going to ask from where? What city did it come from? It's not from Bet Shemesh, and it's not. Oh, you're going to say Yerushalayim? Oh. Rabbi Isai, the Boston Siyum. Tzishkoyach to you, the Boston Siyum. Daily lunchtime davening at the B&H satellite location. Okay, so I am going to skip. Today is the day. I was super surprised by some of these results. 37 entries of statuses, 30. Well, it's more than 37. I showed 37. It's probably into the 50s even. So, but it really helped get a bunch of. I think there was over 6,000 people joining towards the end of Shas. Not at Brachas, not at Kachim, at Chullin. Over 6,000 people. So, I really think it has a lot to do with people making beautiful statuses, and everybody's a winner here. Everybody. This is number 5, and the people involved here are, so it goes like this. There are people who did extremely well in the English, and people who did extremely well in the Hebrew, and sometimes the combination of both. The number 1 winner did a lot better in Hebrew than he did in English, but he did not bad in English. There's a guy who did tremendous in English, but did very poorly in Hebrew because it wasn't in Hebrew. I'll talk about him in a second. But this one, they had 2. They did 2 videos, so it actually went. I'm only showing the Hebrew one. Here goes.
מה אם אני חושב ש-MDY לא מתאים לו, למגזר שלי, לא להשקפה שלי?
פה הטעות הכי גדולה שלך. התורה שייכת לכל עם ישראל, כל המגזרים, כל הגילאים, כולם. יש לנו צ'למרים שהולכים זברה, יש לנו חיילים, יש לנו ליטאים, כל בוגרי הישיבות הכי טובות, כמו מנדי אוירבך, יש לנו פלבטים חסידים, כמו יוסי קלאר.
Okay. So, Rabbi Isai, they are here today. What's their names? I saw them somewhere. Where are they? Where? Oh, Shlomo, what's your name? Mikey Cooper. And you put it on status somewhere? And people came? They joined? Yo, you don't know. All right. So you're number 5. Wow. Number 5. For number 4. This completely, I couldn't believe it. This is number 4, Rabbi Isai.
Just a moment, Donald. משה כהן הזמין אותי לסיום מחר ביום חמישי בבני ברק. אבל כמו שאתם יודעים, יש לי איראן על הראש, לבנון ועוד כמה דברים לטפל. אז אני אשמח אתכם מרחוק את סיום מסכת.
Okay, so that's number 4. Number 3, Rabbi Isai, for the $500 prize.
תראו את הבעבוע הזה, תראו את הבעבוע הזה.
Kobe Sella won $500.
בחיים לא חשבתי שאני אדע להכין כזאת מנחת מרחשת משוכללת. אלמלא הצילומים והאנימציות והסרטונים אצל הרב סטפנסקי, בחיים לא...
And Rabbi Isai, for number 2. This did extremely well, both in English and in Hebrew. It fell short, but it did extremely well. Also one of my favorites.
So there's 2 pipes. There's the kanet, there's the veshet. Birds have a veshet and cows have a kanet. No, wait. They both have both. Sorry. The kanet is the food pipe, and the veshet is the wind pipe. Right. I might have confused the 2. Yes, sorry.
This is a guy by the name of Meir Sabach did this. Bibi was Moshe Cohen from Bnei Brak, the guy that gave us the hall for the Siyum.
Welcome to the special guest. Great, you came just in time. Here we go.
And for our number 1 winner, the one who started the whole thing, actually, Itzik Leibovitz. He got a tremendous amount of number 1. Yeah, he started it. I think people liked that because he started, but also he worked so hard. And then here's another one. Let me just show you this one. This one was great. He did like 5.
אנרגיות בשמיים, אש בשיעורים, מוקדי צפייה יש, איורים הכי טובים, ההמחשות הכי טובות, המגידשו הטוב ביותר, כיבוד קל יש, צ'ון ביום חמישי יש, בקיצור יש את כל המעטפת, למה להצטרף ל-MDY? אז חבר'ה, אין מקום לדחות, יש מקום לעשות, אין מקום לתירוצים, יש מקום לסיפוקים. יום שישי אנחנו מתחילים חולין, ואתם איתנו, לא משנה מה. כמו שרב אלי אומר, אל תהיו גרשונים, תהיו נחשונים, תקפצו למים! דרך אגב זה קשה, זה משהו מאוד חשוב, זה ישנה לכם את החיים, חולין, אנחנו מגיעים!
Okay, so he won $2,000 to him. Now, Rabbi Isai, one last thing. One of my favorites, I would have voted top 3 for sure, is Moshe Didi Blast from Petach Tikva. He did Chullin, not only changed my life, it ended my life. The cow is a great line, and many people voted for him in the English, but in Hebrew they didn't chap the line. So Yishkoyach Moshe Didi, a great job. I'm sure people came to learn Torah because of you. As a bonus, I'm adding 2 more prizes, $200 each, to the Bacharim that are here, and to Bibi. So, Be'ezer Hashem, Moshe Cohen. Did he really? He sponsored the shir with that money. Somebody sent us in a chamor that's machmir. Okay. Sfiras ha'omer lefuas hadmor mevishnitz k'vagdushas mor Yisrael ben Leas or for Shlema. Sfiras ha'omer in honor of Avadia Onur Ergalimidi. Aaron and Kayla Myrl Stein in honor of Shabbos Shever Brachas of Ricky Stein to Yosef Hellman. Mazel tov to the parents Shalom and Malki Stein and to Bubby Stein. Boys, I want to say a tremendous welcome to Rabbi Leader. I saw him walk in. I don't know where. Seat is taken here. Where? Oh, right in front of me. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back. The man who wears tefillin during the shir. Everybody knows him. He sits on the left side. He's been away. I think some surgery. No, eye surgery or whatever. Full Shlema. Welcome back. Official edition of the White Shas. Mesechta Zevin Yal Sholov. Perek. The Benedict family. Daf Ches. Oh, Mark Ashkenazi. Lilishmas Avimoiri Reb Chaim. Ben Rebbe Lazar, all of Hashalom. Shir sponsors David Salom the Mesechta. David Salom, in dedicated memory of Avimoy Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Dov Zichron Livracha, the Palchik Family Foundation. Gratitude to the consortium and the alliance and all they do to support MDY. Anonymous, Hatzlacha Baruch Nis Uvi Gashmis, and thank you to Chief Benny. Anonymous for complete refuah shlema and Arichas Yom to Leah Bas Esther, Ben Yomin and Daniela Rosenfeld, Brios V'Simcha. Monthly sponsors Ari Simon. For Shlema Avimoy Baruch Ben Miriam, Binyamin and Daniela Rosenfeld, Parnasa B'Shefa. Weekly sponsors Moishi and Ruchi Markovich, proudly supporting the Daf Yomi in Spanish. For Shlema, Harav Yaakov Ben Lulu, Lili Nishmas, Harav Chaim Gedali Ben Yeshua Alav Shalom. Zelig and Zeitlin families, Mazel Tov to Ethan Zelig, 15, and Hunter Zeitlin, 14, on their 500th daf, halfway to MDY 1K status. Yumi Feig. Lili Nishmas, Shendel Bas, Harav Yechiel, Mechel, Shalom, Lag Ba'omer, the yard site. Daily sponsors, Pinchas Byrne. Pinchas, one of the big Shini Hashems that we have in the Shir. How do you call him? Phil, a.k.a. Pinchas, or Pinchas, a.k.a. Phil. Pinchas Byrne and family, the memory of Walter Byrne, Mordechai ben Nathan Yechiel, Zechron Levracha. Anonymous, the memory of Yitzchok ben Pinchas Greenwald, whose yard site was yesterday, 20th of the year. Whose father? Oh! Wow, back what a kiss from Hashem. Oh, you mean is the yard sale was yesterday? Yeah. You down for the Amid and the whole thing? Yeah. Not here. Where was the yeah, where was the Kiddush?
Somebody sponsored it.
It was. This is with today's breakfast.
I'll send you the clip. I mentioned you.
It's okay. Yeah, I believe you. But we like to know about it in share, not the day after. And we don't like anonymous. You know what? Somebody felt bad and they sponsored for you anonymous. Jamie, but the son would remember on the day. It's a friend that came out. Jamie and Noga Azulai, in honor of our sons. Jamie's coming on the trip. In honor of our sons Shlomo and Yaakov for reading the 5th paragraph of Pirkei Avot this Shabbat. Mazel tov to you. Unbelievable. No, the daf is part of their life. He makes a whole matzav that the kid should be into it. Anonymous. L'schus refuah shlema. Avram Moshe ben Rivka undergoing heart surgery today. Be'ezras Hashem Yisborach. Koil sponsors month. HYK Ventures in schus for success of all our clients. Binyamin and Daniela Rosenfeld. Bracha Parnasa. MDY Kid sponsors Innovations LLC. As a schus for Akiva Simcha ben Vega. And Rivka Yehudis Bas Yafa Chaya, Kovet Tefillah Committee. Oh, Shlomo Lazarian asked me how Akiva Simcha ben Fega is doing, so I'm answering him here. I haven't spoken to him in a week and a half, but I think he's doing okay. Rivka Yehudis Bas Yafa Chaya, he just text messaged me and I forgot to answer him, so I'm answering here. Why not? Month, Kovet Tefillah Committee, Da Lifnei Mi'ato Imeid. NDY Art. Before Shlema Yonatan Eitam B'Shem Bracha, before Shlema Mordechai ben Esther, before Sayele Daniel Zeben Ayel Esther. What? Oh, we have a candle here. Lili Nishmas, Mike Greenwald's father.
All the props. That's very good.
Rabbi said, here goes. There's a candle, and I'm burning wax. Somebody, and I don't know his name. I got this in the mail. It came with a name, and I forgot.
Yeah, me.
No, it came from another country. It's Givaldic. I'm going to burn wax, and I'm going to show you what I do with this wax. It's a whole set. It's a murdik. But it has to do with the sugya. Omar Rabbi Shua ben Levi. We're holding like 14 lines from the bottom of Daf Zayin Amud Beis. Today we have a little Agadta. We're starting out with Agadta. Then we have great sugyas that with our AI animation and pictures, it's going to be crystal clear, like you've never seen before, and it's going to be easy and geschmack. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Shua ben Levi, Loma nikra shmon yemim. These wild mules that Reb Pinchas ben Yair was very worried about and concerned that Rebbe had them in front of his house. Why are they called yemim? Says the Gemara, Sheimosan mutelis al abrios. It's a lashon of fear that human beings are fearful from them. No one ever came to me to ask me for a bracha or a eitza, what to do with a zetz, a wound he received from this white mule, the chaya, and lived. As the Gemara of Chazina the chaya, there are people who were injured by these mules and they ended up living. Amos, we must say, v'chayas. I've never seen a wound that healed. The person lived, but the wound is everlasting. As the Gemara of Chazina the mitase, I have no people that got whacked by a mule and they lived. The chivar and reish karayu, they got better. They got better. The wound lived. They got better. The mitase, they healed. I would not think that. Misspoke. You see that they healed. Says Gemara, the chivron reish karayu kamrinon. I'm talking about a specific mule. I just took a snapshot from the video. It's a red mule, but it has white feet. It was very difficult. It was like so I caught it right over there. That is a story, my brothers. Is a story of boom, and that's where he gets gesetzt. So it's not a white mule. It's a red mule that has white feet, and that's why only that breed is very dangerous. Says the Gemara, Ein oid milvadoi. Ein oid milvadoi, ein oid milvadoi, ein oid milvadoi, ebezulosoi, ein oid milvadoi. There must be a better song than this. Rabbi said these are three beautiful words. Why? Omer of Chanina. Vafiluk shafim. Ein oid milvadoi means I believe that there's nothing but the Rebbeinu Shleilam. Nobody can control anything. Everything's controlled through. No? No, you're not talking about? That's a much better. That's nice.
In honor of Yaakov.
Higher. It has to go on. It is better. I think he's on a plane somewhere. Hopefully, he's on his way back. He had a concert last night and he's gone. Omar Reb Chanina. Vafilu kshofim. If anybody wants to know what happened at the end of the year, Yaakov Shweki walked into the Bismillah just to daven, just to say hello. And he wasn't even watching there was some videos that we were playing. He wasn't watching the screen, he was davening. He just came, drove in, drove out. Beautiful. Omar Reb Chanina. Vafilu kshofim. Einoi milvadoi overrides kshofim. You would think that somebody does kishuv, does, how do you say it in English? Magic, sorcery. Sorcery doesn't work against Einoi milvadoi, against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Says the Gemara story, so the Havas Komahadro Lemishkal Afro. She was trying really hard to grab some dirt.
Not that it doesn't work against him. If you no, I'm not.
Yeah, the what?
If you're gonna get hurt by it, that was HaKadosh Baruch Hu willed that also.
Yeah, everything. There's nothing besides the Rebbe. You can't circumvent the Rebbeinu Shleilam, even with kishuv. I would think that kishuv has some sort of power. So there's a woman. When you see the be'etzem, it could circumvent, but not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It circumvents maybe nature, maybe regular stuff. The Havas Komahadru Lemishkal Afro Metusikari the Rebbe Chanina. she really tried hard to get a little dirt from underneath his feet, because that's how you could do some real good kishuv. So she's crawling on the floor. As he's walking, she's trying to pick up some dirt. Amar lo, what are you trying to hide? What are you doing? Shkoili, take, go, gesundheit, here, grab. Lo b'stayim milsech, it's not going to work for you. Eidoi mevadoy ksiv. It says Eidoi mevadoy. So, yeah, here, let me show you this. Showed it a few times. This, for me, I was very emotional. My wife bought me a gift. A nice tray, which just sits in a drawer somewhere. Never use it. But why did I like this so much? When I got it, I opened it up, and my daughter is standing there next to my wife. He said, Daddy, we put your favorite saying on it. And this is what they put it. Like, that's how they know me as. They know me as Eina Mevadi guy. It's like, wow, touch me. Like, wow. How do they know? Like, I never say it. I do, once in a while. But that's your favorite saying. Okay. It gave me, no, Bamas, it gave me a certain, I can't explain it, a certain, like, nachas. They think of me like that. Eina Mevadi. Eina Mevadi. So then you have the famous Reb Chaim Volozhiner. Reb Chaim Volozhiner says that if a person is in a tzar, it's a zgula, the zgula of Reb Chaim Volozhiner. If a person is in a certain situation, a bad situation, he's in court, he's about to get a ruling, he's, I don't know, a cop pulls him over, whatever it is, a machla, something. If you think to yourself, but 100% focus, ein oid milvadoy, and what it means, that nothing could change in this world. A human being doesn't have power over you. Everything is from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Then it could take you out of a certain any tzara. They say the mice about the Brisker Rav, he was in a jeep trying to escape the Nazis, and they come to on the road. There's a roadblock by the Nazis, and everybody says, "Oh, it's all over. We're done." And the Brisker Rav, maybe I think it was the Brisker Rav. Yeah. Was it the Brisker Rav? Yeah. No, I just wasn't sure if it was him. It was his father. The Brisker Rav, he was in full concentration. And the Nazi, whatever it was, okay, go. And then there's another roadblock. And they asked him, what's going on here? What's with the roadblocks and what are you doing? How come you're not shaking? He goes, the entire time I was thinking just one thing. Ein oid milvadoy, ein oid milvadoy. So that's big powers.
Told his kids also to focus on it.
Yeah.
And in the middle he said to one of them, you're not
focusing enough.
Focus more.
To focus more. You mean in that story, he told his kids, he told everybody in the jeep, go focus. Ask the Gemara of Amar Rabbi Yochanan Lama Nikra Shman Kshafim. Why is it called Kishuf? Kshafim. Shemakishim Pamalya Shamala. They, how do you say, lahakrish, to weaken the upper echelons. The basically you're doing things against nature. So you see that the kishuv does have power, so to speak, against nature. Says the Gemara, Shani Reb Chanina the nefishas chusa. You're right. Kishuv could work against somebody, but not against Reb Chanina, who has many schusim. V'amar Reb Chanina ein adam, and this is Rabbi Sai. Before we go into the sugya of knives, very interesting sugya. Just take this. This is a piece. Halavai. Everybody should think about this and know this. No one gets a boo-boo, a little bang on his finger in this world. Everything has a cheshbon. There's a reason for everything. Even something as simple as a little scrape, a little burn, a little something with your finger. It has to be a decree that Eli is going to bang his finger. Mamish, last night I was chasing a mosquito with one of those, and I got it. It's on like a curtain. I'm like, okay, here goes, boom, and I whacked my finger right in there. It's like, ain't Mamish like this. Ain't adam noikif it's boy milamata. I like one of these, like I thought, oh, is my nail gonna come off? I whacked it so hard. Of course the mosquito escaped. Mamish like the video. We have a video today. It's like, you think you got it, the whole tennis racket, and then poof, and nothing. I didn't hear a zap, nothing, just my finger zapped. Ain't other no give my mamish a zetz from Hashem, not a kiss from Hashem. I got a nekifa my etzba from Hashem. Shenemar me'Hashem mitzadi gever koinonu v'odom ma'yovin darka. You'll never understand Hashem's ways. Omar Rebbe Lazar, Dam nikuf miratza kidam hoyla. If a person cuts his finger, he's drilling something into the wall and it slips and he gets a little blood comes out. That's the blood of a carbon. It's like the dam of hoyla. Amarava, let me ruin it for you. Begud al yamin, it's only if you stub your right toe, not your left, your right toe. Ubenikuf sheni, and it must have been the second time that it happened. Yossi Rubenstein sent me this. I don't know where he got it from. It says there's the whole. First of all, I like that little stomach going on. It's like it goes to feed. That's I come back from America. Yishkoyach Yossi, I love it. You know, AI could take that off. No, you gotta enhance it. Shkoyach. Begula Yamin, there's like, it's Meshuggah. Somebody asked for Yitzchak Zilberstein, does stepping on Lego also count for Nikuf Rishon and Nikuf Sheni? No, nobody asked that. Nobody asked that. Not yet. Garnish. I'll be the first. So says Rav, it has to be three things. So you think you're going to make a carbon if you get a little booba and you think no. It's only your right toe, twice in a row, going for a dvar mitzvah. So everybody asks, going for a dvar mitzvah, how do you stub your toe? Ain't shliach dvar mitzvah and nizaken. What? Shluchim mitzvah and nizaken. Correct. Shluchim mitzvah and nizaken. So he says. They say that when he was going, he had a machshava, he had a bad hiru or something, and that it's mechaper on those hiru. Omra Alov, he never made a moitzi on bread that wasn't his. In other words, he never enjoyed somebody else's thing. He wanted to earn it himself. I have to say this famous medrash, the very famous medrash, but it's kedai to remember this. Says that Abba Yudon, Rebbe Akiva and his friends came to collect money, and Abba Yudon was very depressed because he used to give him money, and this year he didn't have any money. Didn't have money. He didn't know what to do. So his wife said, sell our field. So he sold half the field. And he gave Rebbe Akiva money from whatever he sold. He gave him half. And the other half, he took his cow and he started plowing. And there was a big pit in the field, and the cow fell into the pit and broke its leg. It's the only cow that he had left. And a regular person would say, wow, what is that Kosh Baruch Hu doing? I'm giving all my money, give whatever I have to Rebbe Akiva. And a minute later, the cow breaks its foot. So he goes into the pit and he pulls the cow out of the pit. And as he's pulling the cow out of the pit, he finds a treasure with a tremendous amount of coins. And he said a lashon, L'toivasi nishbara regel parasi. L'toivasi nishbara regel parasi. My cow's foot broke for my good. In other words, everything that Kosh Baruch Hu does, you break your finger, you cut your finger, whatever it is, l'toivasi. I don't know, maybe I won't see the treasure on the spot, maybe I'll see it later, but it's always l'toiva. Says Gemara, Amru Allah said, okay, and from the day, I guess he became bar mitzvah, he never benefited, he wouldn't take any money from his father. He wanted to be completely independent. Omar, so here we go. Beautiful sugya. Today we're going to learn about a lot of different stuff. Hopefully we get to the end. We're going to learn about a knife that's heated up. That's how we're going to start off the sugya, hot knives. We're going to talk about something called shchin and michvah, which most people have no clue what it means. For easy sugya, shchin and michvah. If you know what it is, think about it. Do you know what it is? What about if you do shchita with a knife that's an avodah zarah knife? Could you do shchita with such a knife? A knife that has treifa, a knife that's shechted. Think about this. You shecht an animal, it happens all the time. Something's burning over here. Hold on. No, I don't want it to become black. No, it's good. Okay, let it burn. It's fine. Steam. Okay. So you shecht the carving. You find out later that it's treif. Could that affect the knife? What do you say? No? Believe it or not, it affects the knife. You can't shecht another carbon afterwards. Another animal. No, today. The guy's in a shlachtos, he's shechting, then he finds out the animal's treif. How often does it happen? It could happen 30% of the time. So what do? So we're going to see in the Gemara, the halachas. You have to wash the knife in between shechita. I didn't know. Like I called up Rabbi Weissfish. I said, hey, yes, we wash our knife in between every single shechita. What about by birds? What about chickens? For sure not. They're going like this, 60 a minute or whatever it is. So why are birds different? Because not so many treifas. So these are things we're going to see today. How many knives does a shaycha need? 3. All these things. Okay, so let's see. Geschmack stuff. Omer B'Zeira, Omer Shmuel. Li ben Sakin. Let's pull out our knife here. It's geschmack. No, it's just geschmack to watch Benny. He's so nervous that it's going to slip. You put this under a fire, and it turns hot, red. Rashi says red. The Gemara says white. It means red. Red hot, red hot. What's the concern? That when I put it on the animal's neck, the heat is shechting it, not the knife. I want to get shechted by a slice, not by the pure heat. The heat could go right through the animal's neck. That's not shechita. Omar Shmuel liben sakim b'shochad ba shechita sikshera. It's a good shechita. Why? Chiduda koydem lilibuna. And this is super important. This is what we're going to be discussing. Halachically, we need to understand what happens first. In a millisecond level. What happened first? Was the neck cut by the sharpness of the knife or by the heat of the knife? And that makes a tremendous nafkamina. If the heat came first, it's not a good shechita. If there was sharpness of the knife first, and then only afterwards this heat, that's something, then it's fine. And then we're going to see beautiful nafkaminas here. Ask the Gemara, so you should know that the sharpness goes first on a millisecond, a millionth of a second before the heat. It's the sharpness of the knife first. It makes even sense logically. I can hear that. Physically, there's a physical cut from the knife, and the heat only catches up a second later. It's not okay. Ask the Gemara, what does that mean? Everybody agrees if I take a hot torch, I take a cigarette and I puncture the animal's simonim, its trachea, its esophagus with the cigarette, the animal just became a treifa. If I take a hot knife, I take this part of the knife, not the sharp part of the knife, this entire part right over here, which is boiling hot, and I put it on the trachea, it burns, it sizzles, it goes psst. At that moment, I made it a treif. A moment later, I cut through the second siman. I'm talking about in a millisecond thing. What happened first? You're right. The sharpness comes first. So I went sharp, I shechted. But a millisecond later, the side of the knife touches that pipe that I just cut. And memela, it got burnt. It got burnt, it became a treifa. A millisecond later, it cuts the second siman, the esophagus. But by that time, it's too late. I already burnt, I already caused damage, I already put my cigarette on the first siman, and I made it a treifa. Why is that not a problem? So what if I cut? No. It's not a treifa when I cut because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to shecht. I'm not supposed to burn. I hear what you're saying. What? After I cut the first siman. Rabbi Isai, if I burn the first siman, you're asking that I made a treif? I just burnt the first siman after I cut it, but I didn't finish my shechita. I burnt the first siman before I finished my shechita. I started shechita, I cut pipe number 1, burnt it, and then cut pipe number 2.
You cut a third of pipe number 1 before you got to the halfway point. You burnt the rest of it. So you didn't do a shechita on the right with the second.
I'm not going to do it now, or maybe I could. At the end of the day, you're taking the neck of the bird and of the animal and you're bending it back like this. This is what they do even on the machine today. On the box, they call it a box. They have this $100,000 pneumatic box that grabs the cow and flips it over, and it's completely immobilized. And then there's a piece of metal underneath the neck of the cow, and it pulls the neck backwards. And it puts a tremendous strain on this pipe. If I take a knife and I cut this pipe, what's going to happen? It's going to pop open on the spot. Says the Gemara, when I cut, the pipe, this trachea, splits to both sides and doesn't allow the knife to burn it. There's no burn. It's not touching the pipe. The knife never hits the sides of the trachea because there's a pull, there's tension on both sides. The only thing I thought about it, and whatever. Sometimes when you cut a tablecloth, your two kids are holding it like this, and you put a scissor down the middle. You're going like this, a plastic tablecloth. It pulls to the side. The scissor is never touching either side of the tablecloth. It's just hitting the area of the cut, but that's it. So says the Gemara, it never has a chance to burn the two sides. Here, we have video actually. Why am I saying this? Everything's in video. This is the Gemara's question. You have a hot burning. Rabbi, this is never done in history. All this brand new to MDY. Look at that. As he cuts, he's burning the sides. You want to say he didn't get through the roiv, whatever it is, he certainly didn't get to the next. So, Simon, this is not great because I would like it to pop open sooner. But anyway, what the point is that it pops. It splits to the side. It goes away from the knife in this picture, and it doesn't have a chance to sizzle and burn. Iboilu. Libin shapud vihiko boy.
Do you have to have the knife hot?
No, chas v'shalom. The opposite. We're talking about liben sakin. What if, the top words, what if he made it red hot? Is he yoytze shchit or not? There's a tzad to say it's possible. It's worse to do it hot. The chiddush is that even if it's hot, it's okay. So before we go into this little thing over here, so I got this gewaldige gift here. Let me put this away maybe. Here, Benny. Oh. So let me see. Gershon, are you able? Who's up there? Gershon, are you able to show over here?
Exactly.
Oh, perfect. Oh, very good. So this comes with the set. This is a wax seal. So it has MDY indented over here, an impression, and then you take hot wax and you put this on the hot wax and you could seal it. I'm going to say this is what the sugi is talking about. We're talking about branding. This is much like branding, and it's perfect size because this is the size I'm talking about, the Gemara is talking about. It's a gris. Okay? More or less, this size is the size of tsaras. So let's do this for a second, and we'll see later on. So I just heated this up. I'm pouring. You got it? Wow. Wow, that's perfect. Now I'm just going to pick this up like, oh no, that didn't work out so well. Maybe I was supposed to do it earlier. Oh, look at this. It's beautiful. Now turn around the camera now, Gershon. Do more?
Because of the new screens.
Okay. So here goes. No, not at all. Rabbi Isai, if somebody gets a whack with a piece of metal, boom, somebody hits him really hard. Forget if it's hot or not. This is not hot, okay? This is cold. It goes like this. And it's this size. Let's, for argument's sake, let's call this a gris, okay? It's the size of some sort of coin, this size. And as it heals, it turns colors, and it looks like tsaras. So you go to the kohen. Now, if you didn't get a whack, one day you wake up, a person wakes up, he finds a weird color on his skin, goes to the kohen. The kohen is masgrim, meaning the kohen says, let's turn this off. Okay. The kohen says, you need to go, I need to put you in seclusion. I'm being masgir you for a week. And let me check it out in a week. He comes back in a week. Quarantine. Talking about this, what's this new one called? Hantavirus? The hantavirus, we shouldn't know from anything. It shouldn't be another, okay. Fine. Now they're saying in Eretz Yisrael. Okay. So, of course, right when I was going to sleep. Oh, America attacks Iran, and we're going to Morocco on Sunday. No, it was a love tap, says Trump. It was a love tap. It's a love tap.
A kiss from Trump.
I love his love taps. But just on Monday, not on Sunday, please. Love tap. They needed a shtick of love. That's the language. That's the language Iranians understand. Yeah, a little chinuch. Yeah. Fine. It seems like it worked. They didn't hit back. Oh, I got a Zetz. Okay, I'm going to behave until tomorrow. What?
Like a butterfly floating down to the bottom.
What? It's like
he said it's like a butterfly.
It's like a butterfly, yeah? Like a butterfly. Okay. Fine. So, Zog the Gemara, so like this. Rabbi said we're in the middle of the thing. You hear? Very, very geschmack. He sees a tzaras, he goes to the Kohen, seclusion for 1 week. Kohen comes back, Rabbi Schoenberg comes back, checks it out, go in for a second week. 2 weeks. Nothing changed, a second week. But when it comes on top of a whack, that's called shchin. It's called shchin. How many of you knew what that was? Not too many. Shchin. And on that, there's a maximum of 1 week. He looks, sees if there's anything, if the 2 hairs grow there. Did it spread? No. Go home. There's something else called a michvah. Same exact thing. Just rather than it happening from a whack, it happened from a burn. Let's say this is very hot, and it goes like this. Psst. Then you know how it goes. There's a whole process of how it starts healing. It turns colors. Let's say it turns white. And all of a sudden, oh, it looks like tzaras. He goes to the Kohen, same exact thing. 1 week, after week, it didn't change, it didn't grow, not tzaras, go home, instead of 2 weeks. What if he gets a whack? And then he gets a burn on the same exact area. Because he's experimenting with this stamp. So we're like, oh wow, that hurt. And then he burns, oh, that hurt in the same exact spot. So we go by the second one, not by the first one. It's called, that would be a burn, not a shchin. If the burn happened first.
Same week. It's the same 1 week.
Yeah, but I'll just explain in a second. I'm saying the idea and then I'll explain what's an afkamina. Let's say he gets a burn and then he gets a whack. What comes second? The whack, the bang. So we go, it's shchin, it's a bang. If the bang happened first and then a burn, it's the burn, it's a michvah. Because it's very, very important. What if he got a half a circle, not a full circle? A half a gris is not enough. So he has a half a gris over here, and then he has another half a gris. So if he got a half a, you hear, Nachman, you with me? Everybody's with me? He gets a half a circle on the right, a bang, and then 2 days later he gets another half a circle of a bang. The 2 circles get together. 2 halves make a whole. That's a michvah. What if he gets a half a circle burn, and then the left side half a circle burn? It's a burn. What if he gets 1 and 1? No good. They don't combine. A half a burn and a half a bang, no combination. What if he got half and then got a whole? You have to know, or another half, and then you got to, let's say you got a half the right side is a bang. The left side was a burn, and then another half a burn. Again, let's say the one on the right, you got a half a circle of bang. And then the left side, he got a half a circle of burn. They don't go together. But then he got a half a circle bang on the left side. They come together because the second one was a bang. Let's say it was the opposite. He got a half a circle bang. Then he got another half a circle bang. But on the half a circle that had a bang, he got a burn. So now it turns into a burn. And a bang don't go together. That's the whole sugya. And I have video of it. I'll show you in video. Iboilu. Li bein shapod. So now here comes the question, and that has everything to do with our knife. We're going to bring a raya from the shechita knife. Why? This piece of metal was heated up and gave a guy a whack. It's a whack and a burn together. Which one is first? What do we say by a knife, Rabbi Isai? What's first? The cut comes before the heat. So maybe the bang comes before the heat, and the Gemara is going to say, well, wait a minute. Cut is a sharp, is the sharpness, the edge of the knife, and this is a blunt object. That's the Gemara's answer. But that's all we're getting to. We have a video, Shmaka video here, of a guy getting a bang, then he gets a burn. Here goes. So on the right side, it's red. Red is a bang in our sugya, for us at least, for MDY. White is, if anybody got a burn, knows that's a little bit what it looks like. These two things, half bang, half burn, half shchin, right side is shchin, half michva on the left, do they combine? No, they do not combine. Half and half don't combine. What happens if he has shchin, he got a bang on the right, burn on the left, but then afterwards the burn turned into a bang, he banged it, so this does combine. You had a bang and a bang. You had a bang, but a bang, and it's tamei. What if it started out, the left side started out as a bang? So now you think, oh, he has a full shear, a full gris, a circle of bangs. He's tamei. But then this chacham goes and gets it branded. So it turns into a michva, it turns into a burn. A burn and a bang do not combine, and Mela he's tar. So the Gemara asks, what happened?
You could be mitaher by burning half of it.
Is that before?
You can't do it before. What?
Before the burn.
But here, it's neget to this. No, it's neget to this. He heated this up and he whacked him in the hand on a half a circle, on the left half. Did the bang come before the heat, or the heat came before the bang? If the heat comes first, then the guy is tamei. Why? Because the bang came second. And then you have a situation where it's shchin and shchin. Because it came second. Second always wins. But if the second thing was the heat, was the burn, so the shchin came first, then comes the michvah second, and then you have a situation where it is half and half. It's, this. It would be tar. Shchin and michvah tar. And the Gemara wants to prove from our sugya. And then the sugya is over. Says the Gemara, he has a red hot piece of metal, but he also gave him blunt force. Mishum shchin nidain or mishum michva nidain? Dr. Epstein, what is it called when a guy gets a blunt force trauma? 7.5 years ago, you spoke it out. I was in the middle of this sugya, and you said it's blunt force trauma. And I turned the camera to you. I was watching this year last night. So, yeah.
You get a hematoma.
You didn't say that. Stick to math, Ari. Do me a favor. What? L'maynav give me the. Oh. Yeah. Mash mishum. Oh. Mishum shchini dain or mishum michveni dain? Do we look at it as a wound, as a blunt? What do you call it? Blunt trauma. Or michva, is it a burn? Nidain. L'maynav give me. You know what's the difference? Look at the sanya. Shchinu michva mitamim b'shavua echad. If a person has blunt trauma or a burn, you only do hezger for 1 week, not 2 weeks. B'shnei simanim, and there's two things that have to occur in order for him to become tamei, b'seir love, and to have white hair. Uvefisyon, if it spreads. Once again, I forgot. But there's a parsha that talks about shchin, 5 psukim, and then there's a parsha right afterwards from Pasuk of Dalet on, another 5 psukim that talks about michva. The question is, if they're identical in halacha, why not just say shchin u'michva in one pasuk, and then you could say 5 psukim. It's one parsha for 2. What do you need 2 separate? Very simple. To teach us the yesod that they're very, very different, I need 2 parshiyos for it. Why? Because they're different. And do not combine a michva with a shchin and a shchin with a michva. They're different. Oh my, how do we get to 50 minutes into the shir? What's the difference? This is simple, Rabbi Yisai. What's a blunt force and what's heat? Obviously, even if you take a piece of wood that's a little warm and give a guy a whack, a hot bath, it's going to be blunt force. Bev, and the same thing with the stone. Begefes, the leftover from these olives, they have a little heat to them. Bechami tferia, and the hot baths of tferia. That's not real fire. That's fake stuff. If it doesn't come from fire, then it's blunt force. Lasuye avar meikara. If you take lead right out of its source, it's a little warm, but not enough to be considered something that burns. Zeu shchin, that's blunt force. Ve'ezu michva, and what's considered a burn? Nichva begacheles beremetz. If you got burnt by a coal, beremetz besid ritech, hot. No, sid is a plaster, lime. Begifsis ritech. It says by you what?
By remetz, it's hot ashes.
No. Oh, remetz. Okay, remetz. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Anything very boiling hot from a fire, begifsis ritech. Anything that comes from a fire. Let's say chamiur, hot boiling water, which I told you once before when I was 2 years old. I climbed on a counter. I'm saying this, l'teil sarabim. I was a shtickle mischievous as a kid, a little bit more than mischievous, a shtickle. And I got on a counter, I was 2 years old, opened up the hot urn, and poured it on myself. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Baruch Hashem, I don't have any burn scars, but they had to tie my hands to the bed for 2 weeks. I shouldn't. As a public service announcement, be careful. Kids do crazy things. Betanya, shchinu mikvah. Rabbi said we learned all this. This is chazara. Shchinu mikvah. You have the two things: a wound, a blunt force, and a burn. Im shchin koydem mikvah. If the blunt force is first, bito mikvah es hashchin. So then the blunt force koydem mikvah, bito mikvah es hashchin. So the whatever comes second cancels out the first thing. So in this case, it was the burn. It cancels the blunt force. And if the shchin is second, bito shchin es hamikvah. So the shchin is mevatel the burn. There was a half a circle of a blunt force. Believe in Shapod, Vehika, boy, he heated up a piece of metal and he gave him a whack. So there's two things going on at the same time. There's a blunt force plus a burn. And it so happened to be the size of a half a gris, the left side. What's halacha? Do we view it as the blunt force first? And the burn comes second, so second beats it. So therefore, you have half that's a blunt force, half that's a fire, that's a burn, and they don't go together. Or perhaps on the left side, the burn came first. On the left side comes the blunt force a millisecond afterwards. And because it's second, it cancels out the burn. And now you have the left side that is blunt force, right side that is blunt force, and the two sides are mitzvah. Toshma, perhaps I can bring a raya from our sugya. Here we have the same exact thing. You have a red hat knife that's blunt force plus it's a burn. And you do shchita. We view it as blunt force. The force comes before the heat. So you see the blunt force comes before in a microscopic, in a millisecond slow motion camera, you'll see that the force comes before the burn. Says the Gemara, Chidud Shani, because it's so hot, it's so sharp, because it's so sharp, there is no heat on the sharpness, says Rashi. And therefore, the blunt force, all you have on a sharpness is the blunt force. You have almost no heat on that sharpness. It's a microscopic, the heat comes later on. The sharpness comes first. Toshma, liebing chapot, v'hikaboy. Oh. Do I show? Oh yeah, I have to show how in the world does somebody get a blister? We're in the business of teaching how things happen. Not everybody knows. So I'll start off by saying like this. It's known that Yerushalmis love hot mikvahs. They love hot mikvahs. In fact, they say, there's a Yerushalmi, they got up there to Gehenim. Get up to Gehenim. And they put him in Gehenim. And he says, Oi, too cold. It's too cold in here. He said, too cold? We'll bring you to the second Madura of Gehenim. They bring him up. Oi, it's kalt. So you bring him to the third, fourth, fifth. Finally get to the Shiva Madura Gehenim, to the top level. They put him in there and they turn on the ovens. Mamish, his heart. He goes in there and he goes, Gan Eden. So now that you know that one, Here we go. Here's Mr. Yerushalmi. 2 cigarettes.
No, it's not so hot like by last time, eh?
Okay, anyways, he comes and brings the heater to heat him up. Fine. That part we could have done without. So that's how, if you're asking how he got it, but it's on the bottom of his foot, there might not be tzaras. Okay, a shtickle mistake. Lo mishana. It's not for the accuracy, it's for the, yeah. Tosh ma libin Shabbat vikaboy. Here we have another brayz that says mufurish. He takes a hot pipe and he whacks somebody with it. Nida mishum michvaseish. First comes in other words, we consider it a burn and not a blunt force. So you see that first came the blunt force, then comes the burn, and burn wins. That's why we decide that it's a burn, not a blunt force. So Gemara Samnami, the Barzi Mivraz, he's using the point. In other words, it's considered, if somebody stabs somebody with a knife, it's the shapud, yeah. In other words, there's no chavata, the Gemara is saying. There's no blunt force. All we have here, we don't consider a stab blunt force because it comes from the point of the knife and the sharpness, and mele, all we have is heat. Omer of Nachman, Omer Rabbi Rabu. Nu sugi Rabbi say, Sakin shel avodah zara, mutar lishchei ba. You hear what's going on here? You have a knife of avodah zara, which avodah zara, Rabbi says, is also bahana. So how could I use it? The answer is, because he's a mekalkel. I'm allowed to do shchita. But I'm not allowed to benefit from it later on to dissect this animal up into pieces. So Rashi says an interesting thing. Every cow you could do a bunch of things with. You could use it as a tractor, as something that brings that has calves, and also for meat. If you're going to limit it to one out of the three things, you just made it worth less. And making it worth less is the opposite of having hana from it. That's how we're learning. That it's a mekalkel. In halacha, you're ruining. By breaking something, what about Shabbos? Are you allowed to shecht on Shabbos? Absolutely not. But you're mekalkel. On Shabbos, you're allowed to be, not allowed, but mekalkel is potter. The answer is, because Shabbos, it has to do with your meleches machshavos, what you want. And at that point, you want a dead animal. You want a shecht animal. So maybe that was the thing. But in avodah zarah has to do with, I need to say shalom aleichem to some guests. Let's do it quickly. Shalom aleichem, I said hello to you. What's your name? From where? Shalom aleichem Simcha. You, what's your name? From? Shalom aleichem. From where? Brooklyn, New York. Shalom aleichem, all the guests. We have more. Shalom aleichem, what's your name? Montreal. You go to that to the Le Falafel place? Maybe it's in Hebrew, Taka, whatever. Okay. Anybody else want to say quick hello? Great. We have 2 minutes to do Omid Beis. Oh, Shalom aleichem, what's your name? Yeah. No, but I don't remember. I'm not there. I don't from? Bet Shemesh? Where? Yerushalayim. Shalom aleichem. Okay. Huh? No, he's with them. Your brother, his brother? Okay. Yeah, the $200 winners. Zog the Gemara. Or winner, the brother of the $200 winner. Omar Rava. Pa'amim sha'ashoichet asur. Oh, but the cut, now you're doing something positive, then you're not allowed to use avodah zarah. Says Rava, but I could flip it. Sometimes it's asur, sometimes it's mutter. In either way. Pa'amim sha'ashoichet asur. When is it 100% asur to shecht with the avodah zarah knife? B'mesuken, it's when it's about to die. It's about to die, so now you're doing something positive with the avodah zarah knife asur. Sometimes I have a situation where you're allowed to cut. Sometimes you want to give a guy a nice gift. You want to give a king a massive, I don't know, what is it called? Not a meat, the opposite of meat, but a roast. My mother-in-law makes it that round, the giant piece of meat. Prime rib. So you give a geschmack piece like this. You go and you chop it up into small pieces. You ruin it's not as chashiv. So then you're allowed to use the knife because now you're mekalkel. Ask the Gemara, what's going on? On the knife of the Avodah Zarah, it has some osur fats from non-kosher animals, from Avodah Zarah animals. Says the Gemara, it's an Avodah Zarah knife, but b'chadasha, it's brand new in the box. Says the Gemara, impossible. That what? It's impossible because if it's brand new in the box by our global specialist international financial services, by Chaim Milrad, Rav Shlomo Mirasi, Fraraeto Baschana, Sif Shachol Yisrael. Chadasha, Bein Rabbi Shmuel, Bein Rabbi Akiva, Misham Avodah Zarah. If it doesn't turn into Avodah Zarah until you use it as Avodah Zarah. If it's brand new in the box, you didn't use it yet. Misham Avodah Zarah and Asur Mashiavdu. So we have two answers. The boy is saying with the pasuk bay gvazal Avodah Zarah. He used it for Avodah Zarah, but to cut trees. When you cut trees, there's no oil on it, there's no fats. And Mamela now he's using it for kosher, so you don't have an issue with fats, but it's Avodah Zarah. The boy is saying he did libon. He put it under the fire. It's 100% Avodah Zarah. It's been used by Avodah Zarah for 22 years. But you took out all the fats, and you don't have an issue of fats, and now you're using it for kosher. Are you allowed to use it for kosher or not? Itmar. When you cut, check out this beautiful picture, you'll understand the whole thing. When you cut into the animal with a knife, what's going to happen? Your knife is going to touch the sides of the neck. Everything the knife goes through, it's touching pieces of the animal. Those pieces absorb non-kosher or fats. So what do? Two options. Either, check this out, it's beautiful. You cut off a thin slice. All the red that you see here was touched by a treif knife, by Avodah Zarah knife. All you need to do is take a slicer, cut off one tiny sliver of meat, and then you're good to go. The other man says, no, just wash it with cold water and you're good to go. Rabbi Baruch Omar, Mediach, just wash it with cold water. What's the machloik? Is the Marsova Beis HaShchita Tzoinen? We have to see, when you cut into the animal, is it cold? Or Marsova Beis HaShchita Riteach, is it hot? Obviously, they had, you can put your hand there and see, is it hot or cold? The question is, there is some heat, but it's not really Yatzei Ledes heat. And the question is that heat, and because of the whole situation of the Shechita, does it pull the fats out of the knife? Is it enough to pull the fats out of the knife into the meat? So maybe that's the machlokes. Loi. So I could say, let's finish because we're over an hour into this year. The Gemara is just going to say, I don't have a right to either way. Loi, I'll go with you. It's very hot. Mandom koilef shapir. Now it makes a lot of sense. It's very hot. You got to take off a sliver. But why is cold water enough? I did the tridi simonim lapuki dam loy bali. I love this lashon. The body is busy. It's busy chucking blood out. There's like like on a Navy ship. They have these water, or like when they try to pirate a ship going. So one of their defense mechanisms is a bunch of water, massive hoses. They hose them down. If the body is chucking blood out, it doesn't allow you to come in. In the Afghanot, a beautiful Rav Meilach Biderman says that one of the big problems of Darshanim and Magid Shir, I'm going to stick in Magid Shir, is that when they hear a beautiful pshat, the first thing they do is, where could I throw this into the sugya? How do I stick it into my to the daf, to my drasha? He says that's the big problem because as a Magid Shir, you're not taking the vart for yourself. You're not internalizing it. You're just thinking the whole time, how am I going to say it into my drasha? And then he says, and even this var that I just said, when I heard it, the first thing I said is, how am I going to put it into my drasha? And that's what it says there. I did tridi simon lapuki dam. You're trying to give loy bali. You don't absorb it yourself. And you could also say no. The shechita is pretty. It's war, but it's nothing that's going to pull fats into it. So that's obvious why cold water is enough. Why do you have to take off a sliver? The sakina. Who knows what's going on there scientifically? The pressure of the knife, bolai, causes it to absorb. Let's do one little piece here, so we're not with that much. Sakin treifa, what about a knife that shechted a treif animal, which happens every sheichet that's going to be shechting in a shlachtais, he's going to have a treifa come out from his knife. The concern is that fat from a treif animal went into my knife, and now I have treif fat in my knife, and I'm shechting the next animal, it's going to go to the next animal. Just wash it off with hot water, with cold water. And the halacha is even with cold water. You have a shmata, the frost that's a little rough. You could then you could just wipe it down with the shmata, and you don't need to wash it off with the water. So he told me, Lemaisa, this is what they do today. They wash it off with the cold water, or they use a shmata. I asked him, what about wiping it on the hair of the animal? He said, yes, you could do that, but we don't like doing that because our knives are very delicate and it could ruin the knife. But in between shchita, they'll do it, and not between the birds. Why do you need hot water? You're going to tell me the reason why you need hot water because it absorbed bad fats of the treif animal. The unbelievable. When I'm shechting, as I'm going through the animal, it's a live animal. I went through Eivim Menachai got absorbed into my knife. Amos Bala says the Gemara, when does it absorb? When it gets heated up. Amos Gochaim, when does it get heated up? It's a second after the shchita. Aishaita, the Heteira Hava. Then it's already no longer Eivim Menachai because it's already dead. And there's no issue of Eivim Menachai. Rabbi Isai Motzi Shabbos, 10:01. See you there. Have a wonderful Shabbos, a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.